Greetings, family. My name's Pi Ratio, and this is Living by Numbers. This is a thought provoking radio show that's all about making the intangible tangible through the magic of mathematics. Each week, we're going to be delving into the world of numbers and equations, uncovering all the connections and the fascinating existence that binds the two together. All right. Now, today we're going to be looking at jealousy. And what we're going to do is we're going to um, align units of mathematics to this emotional feeling so that we have another language that allows us to break down how we're actually feeling. Now, throughout history, humans have sought to understand and and quantify the deepest corners of our emotions. And so, what we want to do is explore jealousy through the lens of mathematics, associating certain units and principles with this complex emotion. So, what is jealousy? Have you felt jealousy? I know I've felt jealousy on numerous occasions. Jealousy seems to have different levels. When you're young and you're going to school and you're quite impressionable, um, you see some of your colleagues, other students, they've got things you may not have, you can't afford. A little bit of jealousy creeps in. You may be in sports. There's some that always win. You may not always be part of the winning crew. There may be a bit of jealousy there. You know, it rears its head in different shapes and forms as you get older. Um, in industry or at college or at university, you know, you have those who seem to be on top of their game and always hitting high marks. You may be jealous of the fact of their achievements. You know, as you get older, you're in relationships, you may be jealous of your partner because your partner's getting all the attention, or you feel they're getting attention that you don't respect, whatever. So there's different degrees of jealousy. So it's very complex and multifaceted. Right. So how do you know? What does that mean then? When you're feeling a certain level of jealousy, what can you equate it to have a level of understanding, to know how to deal with it, or whatever else? Well, if you're unable to qualify how you feel just by your feelings, then you need tools. And one of those tools is mathematics because it allows you to translate things about yourself into numbers and signs. Gives you a little bit more understanding. So you can begin to compare because you are now making how you feel tangible. So, what are some of the traits associated to jealousy. Fear of loss is one. Jealousy often stems from losing something or someone. Could be a partner, could be a partner's affection, a friendship, possession. Another characteristic is comparison. We're always comparing, even if we don't admit it. When you're young, you compare, and as you get older, if you don't find yourself, the comparisons become even sterner. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything to be compared by something or by something else. Comparison and jealousy is often triggered by comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate, especially if we don't understand ourselves. Makes us feel inferior. And those feelings are coming from within. But now you're able to align maths to it to make it more tangible. So I want you to follow me on this. Envy, another characteristic. This may involve feelings of envy towards others for their achievements, their possessions, or even their qualities. And this all stems from the fact that you don't understand your qualities. Possessiveness. Jealousy also manifests as a desire to possess or control. Seen many relationships where the man feels he possesses the woman, feels he owns her. Some of my brethrens back in the day had that possessive streak about them. As men, we chat and we reason, and those are some of the characteristics that rear their head. Insecurity. When you're feeling insecure. I used to feel insecure about myself, my value, my worth. And if you feel low about yourself, you will be jealous of others because you're viewing them from a disadvantage. Suspicion. Jealousy often leads to suspicion. Then one has to start questioning motives. So you can see how jealousy takes all these different sort of characteristics that appear at different stages. Emotional turmoil is another one, because jealousy can cause emotional turmoil, emotional distress, anxiety, even anger. Enough people have killed over jealousy, true jealousy. Because maybe they don't quite understand what's actually going on. So let's see if we can align the units of mathematics to these points that have been highlighted. So fear and loss. In mathematics, we have a unit called calculus. And calculus deals with the rate of change and understanding how things vary with respect to each other. So, in the context of jealousy, it can be related to the fear of losing something valuable. Excuse me. And understanding how emotions fluctuate over time. So we have a unit now that we can align to fear of loss, which is a characteristic of jealousy. It's just another tool, it's just another language to help you work through the mirror of life. I mentioned uh, comparisons, always comparing. Well, arithmetics, because that involves basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And in the context of jealousy, comparisons often involve adding or subtraction, those qualities, achievement or possessions to gauge one's worth compared to others. I'm moving at this pace because it's quite a bit to soak in, but I just want you to try and digest it uh, and take it from there, really. You know, so envy. I mentioned envy. Well, we have a unit called number theory. And number theory explores the properties of integers and their relationships. And so envy, being concerned with other people's achievements or possessions, can be compared to analyzing the properties and connections between different numbers. How is this going to help us in any shape or form? Well, all of these areas that I highlight that you know to yourself is what is at the forefront of how you often feel. You can use these units to analyze where you are if you want to do something about it. Because if you take envy, for example, and you have a scale, say from 1 to 10, and 10 being danger, 1 being it's there and on its way up, you're able to visually see what's going on, and it's up to you what you do once you know. Possessiveness. Now, how many of us have given that possessiveness, put it out there? Ownership in relationships, in groups, Well, geometry deals with the study of shapes and their properties. Possessiveness can be linked to the idea of encircling or defining boundaries around either something or someone, which is akin to the geometric shapes defining boundaries in space. Can you see all of these connections that are being made via mathematics? Maths is the language of the universe. You can run away from it, but you can't hide. Insecurity. Well, we have algebra. Algebra involves working with symbols and equations to solve an unknown. Insecurity may involve solving the unknown. And that could be related to one's self-worth or value. Much like solving an equation in algebra. Suspicion. Well, in mathematics, they have a unit named statistics. And that deals with the collection, the analysis, and the interpretation of data presented in the correct manner. Suspicion is often driven by interpretation, interpreting certain behaviors or actions as potential threats, depending where they are and how they think. But that's similar to analyzing data to draw conclusions. So you can see how you can use mathematics to give you a clearer, a visual of exactly what's going on. Because your emotions are not tangible. You can't hold on to them. So you have to find a way to interact, communicate. Mathematics is what? The language of the universe. Many who teach mathematics will tell you that there is always more than one way to get to an answer. There's generally one answer, but there's usually more than one route you can take. So it's all about following a process. Everything we do, to understand it, we need to understand process. Just like how I have shared some of my views with regards to how we can align mathematics to who we are and what we feel. It's for you all to decide whether the language works for you. Once you're able to align mathematical units to us as a people, we can then start putting formulas, equations, expressions in place that gives us a way of working things out. So, for example, we've been speaking about jealousy. I've come up with some letters and numbers and signs to give an understanding of what jealousy equals in maths. My version. Jealousy is equal to C1 times E1 minus C2 times E2. So C1 represents the intensity or strength of the feeling of comparison with others, i.e., their achievements, possessions, or their appearance. So again, you can have a number line and you can scale it from 1 to 10, or you can even go from 10 to minus 10. But then all of the scales would have to be the same. E1 is the level of external triggers or events that trigger the jealousy. So that's seeing someone else's success, attention, or perceived advantages as a trigger. C2. C2 represents the level of support, appreciation, and validation received from others. It's all about the high self-confidence and your own self-worth. And E2 represents the level of support, appreciation, and validation received from others. So C2 represents the level of self-confidence and self-worth of the individual. And E2 represents the level of support, appreciation, and validation received from others. And so once you do that sum, if your answer leaves you with a negative, that would suggest you need support in solving that issue because it's gone beyond a certain point, whatever that help is. Now, jealousy is a complex and deeply personal experience, yeah? Today, I've just attempted to quantify and analyze its essence using the tools of logic and numbers. Mathematics can provide valuable insight into aspects of emotion, but they cannot fully capture the richness and complexity of human emotional experience without investigative feedback. And that concludes today's session. The mathematics behind jealousy. I hope this unique exploration has opened your eyes to the captivating connections between emotions and mathematics. As the weeks go on, the energy and the temperature, no doubt, is going to rise. You know what I mean? Because I'm really excited about doing these weeklies. So thank you all for joining us on this fascinating journey through the world of mathematics and emotions. I hope today's exploration of the mathematics of jealousy has left you with new insight and perspectives. But before I wrap up, I'd like to remind you to visit www.mathsurgery.com. Math Surgery is MATHSSURGERY. www.mathsurgery.com, where you can access the human code translation and delve even deeper into the captivating realms of mathematics and how you align yourself with your code. Now, remember, mathematics isn't just about equations and formulas. It's a powerful tool that helps us make sense of both the tangible and the intangible aspects of our existence. So, I'm out of here. Take care, peace, and love.